Wow, that's loud. Okay.
Oh, it was trying to record from my web camera instead of my
Oh,
microphone, which is hilarious.
God. Thank you for not doing that. The viewers would kill you.
They can't hurt me. I've decided that I'm moving to Bellevue, Illinois.
The Fresh Prince of Bellevue,
Where is that?
It's a St.
Illinois.
Louis suburb
Duh.
on the Illinois side.
Based.
This is like
I have a
oddly
friend
specific.
who lives like 10 minutes from there
Oh, cool.
in a town called Damiensville.
Do you mean Demonsville because it's woke?
No,
'Cause
it
it's
is
in
not woke.
Illinois.
Actually, well, no, I don't know how woke it is. They're all Catholic, so.
Well, that's okay. Everyone here is Catholic or Mormon, so.
Yeah.
The
Pick
two
your poison.
genders.
Anyway, today we're talking about the Hudson Bergen Light Rail. Aren't you excited?
Yeah.
You should be.
I am so excited to talk about the Hubblr.
The Hubblr.
All
So,
right, should we do the rod? Cast the rod.
Let's
into
cast a pod
What even
and-
is the metaphor?
She
Pod-
rod on my cast
pod
till I
rotting.
catch.
Yeah.
Alex, one of these times you need to record this from like inside a
boat?
canoe.
Yeah.
The SS Redline podcast.
I know. That might be when we sail across the Great Salt Lake. And sail
Alright.
in quote, because there will be no sail.
Oh, we could put a sail on a canoe.
Yeah.
Oh God.
If you can man it. I know nothing about sailing.
I'm still so pissed that there aren't like readily available sailboat rentals.
So true.
Yeah.
But no, the only thing preventing me from putting a sail on a canoe is the cowardice of the United States Coast Guard.
Does the Coast Guard even operate in the Great Salt Lake? Like,
I
I'm
don't
sure
know,
they've got
probably
somebody, but probably not the Coast Guard because it's not the coast.
I wouldn't say it's the coast.
Many
Anyway.
people aren't saying this.
Welcome to the internet, live from an undisclosed location on temporarily federal land. This is the Redline Podcast. I'm your host, quote, Third Amendment enjoyer Dunstan, and these are my co-hosts.
Kyle, quote, your mom, close quote, Holland, and...
Alex, quote, fishing, quote, fielder. Today we're discussing New York, New Jersey, as opposed to Philadelphia, New Jersey's second light rail system, the Hudson Bergen Light Rail. We'll talk Bayonne,
Yeah, that's right.
Bayonne Fliers, and more after the news.
Is there like actual New Jersey, or is it just like the parts that are just cheaper versions of adjoining cities?
I don't know that there is really New Jersey, because like everything...
Like even Newark?
Newark? Newark is clearly a New York suburb.
All right, well, rest in peace, New Jersey.
Like, look on a map, my guy.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe Princeton?
Ooh, yeah. Like, how far inland do you have to go before New Jersey becomes New Jersey instead of the sixth borough?
Right, but there are definitely people commuting from Princeton to Philadelphia, though.
Well, of course people are. But the question is the character of the place a suburb of Philly, or is the character of the place New Jersey?
I think the character of the place is a suburb of Philly and or New York.
Cool. What if we get off like the line between New York and Philly? There's like a bunch of stuff happening on the coast. Is that the real New Jersey?
Yeah, but you can
They've got, like, the New Jersey Keys going on over there.
You can take an NJT commuter train from like all of those places to New York or Philadelphia.
This is unsurprising. Maybe this is less New Jersey's fault. Okay, maybe it's a little bit New Jersey's fault, but more the fault that everything is a commuting suburb of New York.
This is true. The entire world is a commuting suburb of New York.
I mean, the UN headquarters is in New York, so yes.
Is it actually in New York?
Yeah,
Yes.
it is.
It's a
Oh.
beautiful building, too.
Lots of flags, I imagine.
Is it? I always thought it was kind of hideous.
Okay, well, you're weirdly picky about skyscrapers.
This is true.
Yeah. I do love this whole New Jersey Keys thing.
Yeah, maybe like, I don't know, Vineland. I'm looking at a map right now. Vineland, New Jersey, which is in the south and does not appear to have any trains going to it. That might be like the only New Jersey, New Jersey.
Yeah, that looks like the sort of place that might have an economy.
And of course, it's in the middle of like a hideous swamp, so that makes it even more New Jersey. So
We should one of these days find actual commuting stats and figure out where the real New Jersey is.
there's a town called Flemington that doesn't appear to have any commuter lines to it.
Doesn't stop people from commuting.
No, it really doesn't. Anyway,
No, it really
Kyle,
doesn't.
make the news noise.
Do.
I think that's an appropriately depressing news noise for the topic of today's news, which is that America's funniest president has been reelected to office after a time away, becoming only the second person in history to have done so. Unlike Grover Cleveland, however, his term is not likely to see a positive change in public transit affairs. I say that because Grover Cleveland presided over the first electric streetcar being installed in the United States during his first term. So whether you voted red or blue in this election, we strongly urge you to support your local transit agencies and advocacy organizations in what is likely to be a difficult 4 years for American transit.
Gonna say we're gonna be needing a lot more state funding for projects. Some have pointed out that even Utah's own projects like Traxxas TechLink and FrontRunner 2X we're going to be reliant on federal funding, which may now just disappear off the face of the planet.
This is true. Like, the Utah state government is broadly supportive of transit expansion, but the simple fact is that even under the formulaic grant program proposed by Project 2025, there's going to be a lot less money to go around in general, and given the sort of disposition of the state government, all of that money is going to go to roads. So
yeah, and Trump has called for elimination of all subsidy to public transit. But apparently not roads. Roads are okay. We can subsidize those all we want.
Because freedom. That's why, Kyle.
Okay. And oil.
Oh, yeah,
Can't forget big oil.
What's the point of fracking and opening up energy if you can't use it in your car?
Right.
So
Good point.
true.
But anyways, we're going to be needing a lot more state funding in blue states and red states alike. I'm not saying which. So be supportive. Transit has always been about local politics. The funding is just getting a little bit more local.
I mean,
good luck,
to
everybody.
be fair, it might not. Like, if the Democrats hold the House, which, to be fair, is looking increasingly unlikely, like, all of their crazy shit is kind of off the table. So
Fingers crossed.
Fingers
crossed. I'm going to miss Secretary Pete.
Yeah, he was pretty good. It'll be fine when we have, like, you know, Supreme Leader Gavin Newsom as leader of the People's Republic of California or whatever. He'll be back.
We're going to have to do a Gavin Newsom episode one of these days, and you know that.
I like the Gav. I don't agree with some of his policies, but he does hate Republicans like no one else, and I think that is something positive in a Democrat. Anyway, this has been the news.
I can't go that low.
You guys are like cooking today, I have to say. Holy cow. Okay, I'm sorry. For no reason, I'm on a bridge in Port Jervis, New Jersey, right? Which is like the end of like the longest commuter rail line in the universe from New York.
Uh-huh.
And for whatever reason on this bridge, as I just go into Street View, there are two people riding city bikes.
On just some random ass bridge.
Yeah, in the middle of New Jersey, like 60 miles from New York.
Here,
Wow.
send the link. I want to see this street view.
Okay, hold on. Yeah, and we can show this to the viewers as well, so they can be like equally sort of impressed by these people's audacity.
Oh, wow.
Damn.
Like, those things are supposed to be limited to the 5 boroughs. So,
Damn.
yeah, it's like 60 miles. So, I don't know what they're cooking, but I am impressed.
I'm thoroughly impressed.
Anyway,
This is good stuff.
so today
Also,
we are
fucking
talking...
steel decked bridges. That's the most East Coast shit
Oh,
I've
I
ever
love
seen.
it so much, man.
Okay.
Don't you want a steel-decked bridge, Kyle?
No. Also, Port Jervis is in the state of New York.
Oh, that's sad. That sucks.
Just barely.
That's embarrassing for them.
That is a little bit embarrassing for them. It's like almost in Pennsylvania, too.
Imagine being ruled over by Kathy Hochul instead of whoever the governor of New Jersey is.
Gross.
Okay, so I have labeled this in the beginning because as a good patriotic podcast who does not
And
want
patriotism now means white Jesus.
who does not want to be arrested by the government for being liberal, we are now incorporating biblical references into our episodes. So,
Right.
Eastern New Jersey is one of the most densely populated areas in the country, and I would like to signal that that is a bad thing, and has been for more than a century.
And why exactly is that a bad thing?
Woke.
Oh, yeah.
I was continuing the bit.
Okay.
But the middle of the 20th century had been hard on these areas. Basically, all of their local rail transit had disappeared, making it slow and difficult to get anywhere other than the city.
Oh, that sounds pretty good.
Not saying which city.
I think it's the city, Kyle.
Well, you did pronounce it with a capital C, so.
Did I? I didn't know you could.
You kind of did, yeah.
Did I? The city.
Uh-huh.
Oh, okay. On the upside, it was quite easy to get into New York City on public transit. There have been and always will be about 1 billion ways to do it.
Yep.
But beginning in the mid-1980s, the newly formed New Jersey Transit Corporation began looking for ways to improve transit on the densely populated Jersey Shore. And of course, since it was the 80s, they decided on a light rail system. And planning for what would become the Hudson Bergen Light Rail system began in 1984. Please say the line. Alex, can you say the line?
Sure. This is literally 1984.
By George Orwellius.
Oh my goodness, George Orwell strikes again.
Gorgeous Orwell. Making
Gorgeous.
our rails light.
Joe Biden strikes again. And for the last time.
Do you think Joe Biden would have been a light rail president?
He probably would have been a light rail guy.
Yeah.
I feel like Joe Biden likes light rail. You can quote me on that.
Oh,
Not as much as Amtrak, but...
Didn't his wife and kid die in a car crash?
Yeah, he's a car hater.
Yeah, so...
So he probably does like light rail. You guys are right.
I know, I would hate cars more if my wife died in it.
I would hate cars more if my wife died in it. Alex Fielder, 2024.
Yeah, you can quote me on that.
So, planning for the whole thing continued through the 80s and early 90s until the NJT board finally approved a new light rail system in 1993. Construction wouldn't begin for another few years, however, as there were some last-minute changes in the system's planned alignment near, or rather around, Hoboken.
Is this why they've got that stupid Y?
Yeah, this is why the Y exists. Although, personally...
They were going to do it without the Y?
They were, so that it was just going to go to the left and then kind of like swing around to get in front of Hoboken Terminal and then go up the coast. But this was going to be...
better than the Y, because right now the frequency sucks ass.
I don't know that it is, actually.
Oh?
Because if you look at, like, go on to your Google Maps, everyone.
Already there. Already foaming Hoboken.
So if you look, like, you wouldn't get nearly as much of the line near to people, right? Like, the amount of people that live next to this line because it was rerouted is huge.
Enormous.
Yeah. And Also, it's a much faster alignment because it is in a old railway alignment instead of on the street. So I am
suppose.
of the opinion that this was a good and positive change.
So maybe the problem is not the Y, it's just refusal to run service on said
I don't
Y.
think that the Y is like constraining service. Like,
Well, it's just the thing that it's just because there's more origin and destination points, and it's not just like one straight line.
I guess, but you could probably still run like 15 minutes or more because the Y is grade separated. So
Yeah, I don't mean to say it's a constraint. I just mean that having like more origin and destination points in the system makes for more complicated and uglier service patterns.
Sure,
Especially
agree.
when you want to run low frequency service on purpose because you hate your residents.
I agree 100%. I'm tired, sorry.
Aren't we all?
But so in my opinion, apparently New Jersey's governor was base because he wanted this change. And as I said earlier, it makes a lot of sense to me because it's a more heterosexual alignment, i.e. straight, and puts more density within walking distance of the train. So after all this was finally figured out, it was time to actually get building. The project was planned to have 3 phases, and the Phase 1 contract was awarded to the 21st Century Rail Corporation in 1996.
That is such a cool name.
What sort of name is that? Sounds like a TV studio.
I would also like to ask the question, how can you be the 21st Century Rail Corporation if it's 1996?
You're making futuristic rail.
Yeah,
Are
you're
you?
building rail for the future.
For the future.
Yeah.
So are they going to, like, in 2080 or something, if they still exist then? Because they do still exist. Are they going to change their name to the 22nd Century Rail Corporation?
Probably.
I wouldn't think that far ahead right now.
Maybe it'll be like the 22nd Century High-Speed Minibus Corporation.
Donald Trump replaces high-speed rail plan with high-speed minibus plan.
God, I miss Old Onion. Have you seen some of the Onion's more recent videos?
They suck.
Yeah, they're not as good as Old Onion. I think they're still doing good work, but like Obama era Onion was just funny.
What's going on?
Trump era Onion is just like you have to shift so much more evil to be satire.
No, it's like if you watch the show Veep, that show, which used to be a comedy, is now just like real life.
Or House of Cards.
Any political drama or comedy.
Except the singular good one, which, of course, has become utterly untrue.
Which one?
The West Wing, of course.
Oh.
Which was like, what if Bill Clinton was good? So... construction was not without problems. The Hoboken Terminal Spur was delayed by 17 months, but the first parts of the line... Yeah, I know. From East 34th Street in Bayonne to West Side Avenue... and West Side Avenue to Exchange Place, which is where the path transfer is, opened to the public in 2000. The rest of Phase 1, basically just the line to Hoboken Terminal, opened in 2002.
Whoa, wasn't that when the Olympics were?
Kyle, the Olympics were only here then.
Oh.
Kyle's like, what? I've spent my entire life thinking...
Every single sign and every single bench and every single like weird stone in the ground says the Olympics were in 2002. So
like in your brain, the Olympics are forever in 2002.
Yeah.
That, just as a quick side note, they updated like the big Olympic statue coming out of the Salt Lake City airport already to have 2034.
Already.
Yeah, they did. I've seen it.
I think they did it the second it was announced.
The airport's statue budget is just incredible.
The airport spends more money on statues than it did on getting the stupid central tunnel done.
I think that might be true.
I don't even care if that's true, but it sounds right.
I feel like that's true.
Yeah, sorry for the tangent.
No, it's a good tangent. I appreciated it.
Okay, so we built a light rail line, and it goes from Hoboken to all the way down through Jersey City, and then goes and does some other things.
That's right.
Pretty cool.
And extensions began almost immediately. A one-stop extension to 22nd Street in Bayonne near the south end of the system opened just a year later in 2003. And service to Lincoln Harbor, Port Imperial, and finally to the northern terminus of Tunnel Avenue were completed in 2004, 2005, and 2006, which brings the
It does
system
go pretty long.
to its current extent.
Imagine getting stuff done on time.
I know. And like rapid fire as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is how you build successful transit projects, is you continue building them.
This is how you build successful anything.
You don't just like sit and stall and defund for years until it gets more expensive.
Yeah, pretty much.
Also, they have an entire turning loop at Tunnel Avenue.
They do, which is quite interesting given that it is a light rail system and presumably has bidirectional operation.
With perfectly symmetric vehicles, but I guess good for them. It looks funny.
I like the pond in the middle.
Yeah.
That is kind of charming.
It's the most freeway infrastructure ass shit ever.
Well, and it's like a scummy pond, too.
It's like a really
Yeah,
nasty
accurate.
little stagnant pond there.
Oh my goodness.
I want to go take a swim in the Tunnel Avenue stagnant pond.
I don't, and I don't think they'd let you.
Sad.
Pond
This
station.
is woke.
Okay. I should send you guys the glam shot I got of the pond under our spaghetti bowl. It looks way prettier than it deserves to.
From the Green Line?
No, from the SR 201,
Oh, okay.
pointed at the Green Line.
Same thing. Yeah.
Sorry for another tangent, but have they said any more about how they want to build housing there for homeless people?
In Joyzy?
No, in the interchange.
What the hell? I've not heard of this.
You haven't? I swear it was something that was
No.
proposed, and it's like, yeah, noise pollution isn't going to make people
I'm
better,
sorry,
is it?
but I used to live 2 blocks from a freeway, and it was like unbearable all night. I had to wear AirPods, like in the middle of an
But
interchange.
homeless people are humans too. If you wouldn't build normal housing there, don't build homeless shelters there.
Yep.
Ah.
Well, I swear that was a proposal. I just wanted to see if there were any updates on it.
Breaking news: homeless people are people.
Apparently, this is breaking news.
This is breaking news, according to the Utah State
Yeah,
government.
well, we've got Mr. Racist Rapist for president, so we're gonna have to make a lot more breaking news announcements like this. That people are people.
Immigrants are in fact people.
True.
In fact, I consider them to be more of people than Donald Trump is. So
They sure do act like it.
Get
They actually
owned.
contribute to society.
wow, Kyle, entering our resist lib era, are we? So the total cost was $2.2 billion in 1993 for just 17 miles of trackage, which is like $5 billion in real money.
$1 gajillion.
That is quite a lot of money.
300 million a mile.
Yeah, so I think that the
You've
main
seen
reason-
IBX, right?
Ha! That's gonna be like $1 billion a mile for light rail. So I think the main reason is that it has like fairly extensive grade separated infrastructure. There's a subway section in Union City,
Ooh, I didn't even know about that. That's really cool.
which is the densest city in the country, I believe.
Hot damn.
And a subway station. There are some different viaducts in different areas that are quite large.
It goes over the Lincoln Tunnel.
It does. Also, as we previously mentioned, the entire like Y thing that they have is grade separated and on a viaduct, which is itself a fairly like extensive piece of infrastructure.
It is unfortunately just a flat Y, not a flying Y.
Well, I mean,
whatever.
for light rail.
It's floating over an entire road, so
Yeah, so I think that sort of thing has a lot to do with it. And also it was built in a blue state with very, very strong unions, potential even like mob unions, which
New York moment.
which is contributing to a more expensive cost, you might say.
Yeah. And, it is, again, in New York's 6th borough, so $300 million a mile for something with pretty good grade separation and generally good quality infrastructure is maybe not that bad.
Well, and when we get to the ridership that this thing gets per mile, you will probably have a positive opinion of this expenditure.
All right.
So, I should mention that it was a design, build, operate contract, but I can't for the life of me figure out whether the construction costs include operations. I would wager not. So,
that would be a good bit of information to have, because I can certainly imagine the news just seeing the number and putting it on the news page and then getting on with their lives.
Right, but I can't for the life of me figure out if the DBO is included in the cost I just cited. So, if a viewer from the area knows about this, hi, please tell us.
Yeah, because that would make a huge difference in that cost per mile.
It really would. So, that brings us to the system today and the future. Wow, aren't you excited?
Wow.
I'm so excited.
You should be.
Yeah.
Because they use 52 kinky Cherio LRVs running trains of up to 3 cars.
3 cars. Take that, Portland.
I know. Shocker.
Take that, IBX.
Ridership.
I'm kidding. We don't actually know how long the IBX trains will be, but I'm just not that hopeful.
You're an anti-IBXer?
I'm an IBX should just be a fucking subway.
True. Especially since they're doing the whole thing grade separated now.
My goodness. Yeah, no, they do make a good point that a different vehicle type might be warranted just for this line because of geometric constraints, but I don't see why we need to pretend it's light rail.
So do the Chicago L trains. I don't care. Like, those things
great.
can do
Yeah,
wicked
just
corners.
normal heavy rail train. You can order these in whatever size and bendiness you want.
So, ridership on the Hubler is about, or was before the pandemic, about 60 to 70K on weekdays before the pandemic, and has seen quite a good recovery, greater than 80% as far as I can tell. So,
damn, and this is 17 miles or is it 22 miles?
17 miles in length.
Cool. 17 miles. Oh, that's like 3,500 per mile. That's really good.
Wicked. That's a wicked ridership.
Yeah. Oh, 3,500 to 4,000 for that range, yeah.
Yeah. Wait, what do you mean? Oh, yeah.
You said 60 to 70,000, so 3,500 to 4,000 a mile.
Yeah. So quite good. And also, interesting fun fact about this system, it has what I believe to be the only express service on a light rail system in the country.
It has an express service? I didn't know that.
It does. It is called the Bayonne Flyer, and it goes from the south end of the line to Hoboken Terminal, making limited stops. And
that's pretty cool.
According to a YouTube video I watched yesterday, it saves about 7 to 8 minutes on a 35-minute trip, so quite good.
Yeah.
Quite useful. I'd imagine this is like a Caltrain type thing where they dispatch the express and then they immediately dispatch the local and the express just catches up to the local in front of it.
I don't think it's like that at all. I think they actually thread the needle by putting it on the left track sometimes and back onto the right track, and like
that's cool.
Just using smart usage of their tracks, having trains that could potentially run into each other if not for signaling. So it's cool. Quite interesting. It's now on my sort of bucket list of weird transit lines I would like to ride, but apparently quite useful. So, yeah, only light rail express service in the country.
Yeah, I wish other systems had light rail express services.
Oh
but,
gosh, we could really use
light rail is defined as being like budget and cutting features in favor of cost. So, frankly, we're lucky when light rail gets both tracks.
Look, if we had dispatching this smart, it would be really cool if we could do this with, like, the red line takes so long to get from Daybreak to the university. So if we had better signaling, more crossovers, and better dispatch, like, we could do this potentially.
That would be cool. And I mean, if we wanted to run a more conventional service, all the corridors have plenty of room for 3 tracks.
They
so
really
if we had,
do.
Money and ambition back in the day, we could run a 3-track service during the day with select express service, and then at night we could run a 2-track service with 1 freight track.
Ooh, that's actually an interesting idea.
Yeah.
Okay. So potential expansions, see the map below. All of the yellow bits are potential expansions, and all of them are still under consideration. But this like little tiny one on the left here, in Jersey City, that's just 1 stop, that is apparently under construction and has been since 2020. When it's finished, this will be the first extension in almost 20 years.
Jeez.
We love one-stop light rail extensions.
Yeah, to a park and ride as well.
Oh, great. This one goes from West Side Avenue, to one more stop. The Route something or other park and ride.
Route 440 park and ride.
This is the leg of the system that you said they could theoretically extend to connect to the New York City subway.
Yes,
because they've got that old rail corridor with disintegrating piers.
So I think the idea is that they are actually going to So I don't know. I think that they should do that. That would be cool. But that one's not actually really under consideration, unfortunately. So, other things, there's an ongoing study on extending the light rail onto Staten Island via the Bayonne Bridge. This one seems like kind of the real winner to me.
Yeah.
Because the part of Staten Island that it would serve is quite dense, and it would connect.
Oh yeah, doesn't Staten Island already have like their weird subway train?
They do, and it would connect eventually to the SIR and the
that would be cool.
ferry terminal. So it would be like a really good multimodal line.
Yeah, because Staten Island's like really, really isolated. And if they can keep up this whole express service pattern or maybe even expand it, you could maybe help people in Staten Island commute into Manhattan.
I think it's always going to be faster to just take the ferry, but...
Oh, right. I forget ferries are actually good.
Yeah.
I'm used to living in a place that doesn't have ferries at all.
Or water.
And hearing about ferries is an antique. Yeah, shut up.
So there's also sort of tentative plans to expand the light rail to Secaucus Junction, which is like a really giga-chad New Jersey Transit commuter rail
Transfer station.
Yeah, that's very important. As well as to the Meadowlands, which is where like a lot of New York sports are played, like the football. I don't know. The New York Giants play there, and
cool.
And I think other teams.
Lots of stuff in the 6th borough that they can run trains to.
Yeah. There was also kind of a silly plan to run a trolley line to the ferry that you use to get to the Statue of Liberty from the Hudson Bergen Light Rail.
Tourism.
Yeah, unfortunately, the infrastructure for this was destroyed by Hurricane Sandy. So this will not be happening now.
That one really did a lot of damage, didn't it?
It kind of did. It was not good.
Like, this is one of the ones that doesn't get lost to memory because you keep hearing about damage that is still there.
Yeah. So, discontinued, but kind of a ludicrously funny idea, in my opinion. Like, I like the idea of being able to take, like, a train to the Statue of Liberty.
Hey, tourism money. Keeps entire heritage railways alive.
It does.
In San Francisco.
It
Like,
really
I don't
does.
see why we can't make a new heritage railway.
That was actually the plan. It was going to be a heritage railway. So,
There you go. Tourism. Done. Easy.
Joe Biden.
Yeah. I was also going to say, on the topic of Secaucus Junction, I figured we should do a little comments section from the YouTube. I am told that, correction, trains from Broad Street Station in Newark going to Hoboken do not stop at Secaucus Junction.
They don't.
That would be out of the way.
Wait, from
Well,
Broad
'cause
Street?
Hoboken is, yeah.
No, they wouldn't go to
Hoboken is,
Secaucus.
well-
They would go to Hoboken.
Yeah.
Didn't I say that?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure what you said. I'm just reading the comments.
Yeah, so trains from Newark Penn go to Secaucus and thence to Penn Station in New York. But trains from
Yeah.
Broad Street just go to Hoboken.
Well, we settled on the facts either way, and apparently there was also a flyover built for trains from Broad Street Station to join the NEC and go into Penn Station in the late 90s.
Is it ever used?
Some trains go into Penn. It sounds like it's currently in use.
Oh, okay. Well, that's nice. Like I say, you all of these are so complicated that I'm never going to like.
Incomprehensible.
It is completely.
And frankly, I hate that Google Maps just shows them all as dark blue. Like IDK, there's a train here.
Oh yeah, that does not make it easier. So.
Especially when they all cross over just east of Newark. The one other comment I wanted to highlight is that somebody brought up, as is well known, that Hoboken has had 0 traffic deaths, car, bike, or pedestrian in 7 years.
Yes, and this is very impressive.
It is a shining example for the rest of the country on how to actually do pedestrian safety, and on the cheap too.
Yeah,
That's
and they
amazing.
have great. Yeah, so I don't know, move to Hoboken, I guess.
Yeah, they have a light rail and it won't kill you.
Yeah. Or
Unlike many other cities which do not have a light rail and will kill you, or do have a light rail and still will kill you.
examples: Salt Lake City has a light rail, will kill you. This is a threat. Run for your life. Okay, well, thank you, viewers, for the corrections of my very limited knowledge of New Jersey transit train patterns.
Yeah. And the viewers also really like the extension to the airport that we mentioned because, like you said, it hits a lot of density on the way there.
Yeah. Right?
Maybe in the way that a PATH train couldn't.
Right? Like, I think that's a good idea. So,
yeah.
anyway, thank you for your comments. Please leave more about the things I got wrong in this video. And also, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe if you're watching on YouTube, and to follow and leave us a rating on iTunes and /or Spotify. If you like what we do here, please consider becoming a member on Patreon. Patrons receive early access to all of our regular content, as well as exclusive content and occasional merch drops. Speaking of Patreon...
I'm clicking as fast as I can. Slow down.
I should be one of those auctioneer people.
You actually should. Or maybe you should just do the outro in like the auctioneer style for just to screw.
Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe if you're watching on YouTube, and to follow us rating on iTunes and Spotify. If you like what we do here, please consider becoming a member on Patreon. Patrons receive early access to all of our regular content, as well as exclusive content and occasional merch drops. Speaking of patrons...
Well, I think you don't have to just do like the talking style. I think you got to capture some more of the mannerisms too, and maybe like rewrite the script. So
Oh, it could be. I don't know.
maybe something to try in a future episode.
Oh,
we could do the whole Patreon scroll in like auctioneer format because it is about money after all.
Zach Adams, Aaron, Curtis Herring, Devin Zander, Phobos2390, Tony Stunts, and they are, I don't know, what, Bayonne Flyer tier.
All right.
I can't speak that fast, but $5 a month. The Tunnel Avenue Station pool, but you can actually swim in it. Tier. We have Christopher Whaley, DJ
Hi, Will.
Watkins, Elijah Kinsler, G4, Isaac Madsen, Jesse Mayo, Nebula, Reluctant LA Resident, Robert P. Walsh, and Zephyr Zamaro.
At Blue Line tier, $3. Extension over the Bayonne Bridge tier. We have 1 moment scrolling. So many patrons. Thank you all for making me scroll. We have Alex Stokowski, Alice MYOB, Ben, Bradley Bondi, Ethan McDonald, Evelyn, Jack McCoskey, Litmus S, Martine, Hacker Martinez, Matt Gray, McKay Ransom, Oliver, Purple Wife, Sam Meyer, Sky Lukowski, and Zach Verstott.
And finally, at that cool grade-separated Y thing that they have tier, $1 a month, we have Benjamin Wood, Joshua S. Horvath, Capillo, and William Rowe.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for listening.
This is coming from Utahns, where we were too broke to install a Y for the Green Line branch, and now we're talking about doing it in post.
I love doing stuff in post.
What do you even want that for?
Oh, it's for when they're end of lining trains at the end of service, so they don't have to pull into Central Point and then turn around.
Oh.
Because that really just fucks operations.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. Trouble is they need, I think we were talking they needed, weird custom switches or something.
Of course we do.
Of course we do, because
Well, it's a really, really weird space constraint.
Well, that's what I call a skill issue.
Yeah.
I
Although I will note that the warehouse building just north of that Y, or northwest of that Y, was recently demolished. I don't know why. I guess nobody needed it anymore. So I do kind of wonder if UTA could buy up some of that now vacant land and kind of jog the Green Line tracks a bit north and have a Y with much broader curves that operators don't derail on.
Why would they do that though?
Yeah, Kyle.
They wouldn't
When they
because
could just
it's
not.
expensive.
Yeah.
I think they should consider it because we're probably going to need a full system closure to install this other half of the Y anyways.
No, you don't have to close the whole system.
Well, what they do is they just bus bridge everything around the junction where all the lines go, so all the lines would have a bus bridge.
Yeah, but do it in the summer.
People use the thing year round.
Yeah, but less people use it in the summer.
This is true.
And maybe you
UTA does love a good closure.
Yeah, they really do.
God.
Every year, man.
Maybe if it was 1 year, that would be fine, and not 20. The Hudson Bergen Light Rail would never do this to its riders.
No, because it's nice and based.
Yeah.
I've changed my mind. I'm still moving to where is it that? Oh yeah, Bellevue, Illinois. I'm still moving there,
Yeah.
but maybe I'm also moving to Union City, New Jersey.
You can move to multiple places over the course of your adult life.
Whoa. Huh. No, but why I want to move here is because rent is $600 for a one
In
bedroom.
Bellevue?
Uh-huh.
Well, that's nice.
It's within walking distance of the metro. It's in a blue state, but in kind of a purple area. And that's kind of the whole deal. That's my justification for moving there.
And you might have rights there.
I might continue to have rights there, yeah.
Yeah.
Housing, rights, and a metro line. All the things one needs to survive in this country.
If you moved there, I would happily take the Zephyr and then the state-sponsored Amtrak down.
That's
To
true.
visit.
I will have access to one of
God,
our
ima-
few higher speed rail lines in this country.
Yeah.
Imagine living in a state that sponsors Amtrak.
Yeah.
I would be jealous.
Shocking. Truly unbelievable. So,
And now you
anyway.
close out the episode in the announcer voice.
Goodbye.